Good morning. So, we are going to do something on lesson 1.4, and that is the vocabulary. And we're also going to have that carry over to when you do your final project, and it asks for some of the target market ideas. So, just to remember those. So, let's start off with number one, and that is customer service. And what is customer service? That's the first vocabulary word. And that's pretty much, if you're a business, how you treat your customers. Do you always say that the customer is right no matter what? Some companies believe that. Costco's really good at that. Costco will take back almost anything after you buy it. But this past week, I took something back to Costco and it had expired and they wouldn't take it back. So the customer is not always right, but the vast majority of the time, you need to make sure that they are right. One thing about social media is you need to know is social media, if someone says something negative about your business, it takes seven positives to turn it into a just for a wash. A negative goes so fast. An example promotion would be right now McDonald's is running two quarter pounders for $5, or buy a Big Mac and get a quarter pounder for $5. That's a type of promotion to bring people in. It is advertising. The difference between promotion and advertising. Advertising you pay for, promotion you don't. So on social media yesterday when I was driving around, I looked and McDonald's had a new thing about vote for your deal for tomorrow. So you're looking at what deal you want to have at McDonald's. Well, that's a form of promotion because then it gets you involved into McDonald's and lets you go and increase that. The next word we're going to talk about is brand building. So a brand is what a company is known for, a brand. So this shirt right here, see this, Mount Spokane High School DECA? We are a brand. And DECA is a marketing club. Well, when we look at a brand, it is what people think of a company. So Nike has a great brand awareness. So does McDonald's. Under Armour started off with hardly anything, and it turned into great brand awareness through them by some of the advertising and promotions that they did. Brand awareness is, again, what people think about you as a company. So one of the things we haven't talked about yet is what a good or service is, and that's known as a product. So a product is a good or service. A good is something you can hold. A service is something that's done for you. So let's say we go into a hamburger spot. Let's say we go into a Red Robin. And the Red Robin, we order a hamburger. Well, the hamburger I can hold. That is a good. The service is provided by the waitress. That's something you shouldn't hold. You shouldn't hold a waitress. That is a service. Got it? Good you can hold, service you can't. Car wash is a service. A good is a vacuum cleaner. So when we talk about research, we talk about looking into what makes your product good or bad. Okay, product, good, or service. So you do a lot of research to decide if your product is something that people want and how to change it. So Uber started out as a car service where you would take and you would get people delivered from one spot to the other to make it less expensive than taking a taxi. Well, now Uber has gone into the food business where they're actually delivering food. So they did research and they found out people wanted some food delivered to them. They took that research and they developed Uber Eats. The next word we're going to talk about is integration. And that is integrating social media marketing with traditional marketing. So traditional marketing is TV, newspaper, billboards, blimps. Those are great forms of marketing. Now we take social media into it, and now we're talking about Twitter, Facebook, web pages. Those are all social media. Most of the time when you're dealing with social media marketing, you are integrating it with your traditional marketing. So if I see an ad on the Super Bowl and it's about Coca-Cola, then if I go to Coca-Cola's website, it will have something in there about Coca-Cola. So there was a bowl game that Cheez-It sponsored this year. It was called the Cheez-It Bowl. And it was a football game between California and TCU. And during the Cheez-It Bowl, there were more interceptions thrown than anything. So Cheez-It, during the game, went to Twitter and they put the Cheez-It Interception Bowl or the Cheez-INT Bowl. And to take that right in the middle of the game and put it in there, they were taking social media and they were integrating it with regular media, which was the naming of the bowl. So the next vocabulary that you had was sales. And what sales is an exchange of something for something else. So it can be an exchange of money for a product, good or service. It can also be an exchange of work for someone else doing work for you. So I get a car worked on, and then I exchange going over and doing yard work for them. That is also an exchange. A sales is an exchange of one thing for another because you're getting something of value for something of value. Okay? So when you sell something, that is what a sale is. Giving money to get something or giving something else to get something. The next vocabulary is engaging customers. By engaging customers on social media, you are pretty much going one-on-one. It's very rare that a company can talk one-on-one to people, but through Twitter, you have one-on-one contact. You have you talking to that person, and they can talk back to you. You also can do that on Facebook. You can't do it on TV. You can't do it with billboards. So the social media has come up with a new way of engaging customers, and that means you talking to them face-to-face. So one of the last things we're going to talk about is target market. And target market is figuring out who you're going to sell to. And to do this, businesses use some different graphics is what they are. One is demographics, geographics, and psychographics. And they do research on these, and they decide with this who they're going to sell to. Let's start off with geographics. Geographics is deciding where you're going to sell your product. So an example, we live in the Pacific Northwest. In the Pacific Northwest, where I live in Spokane, we're right next to the Idaho border. And we have a lot of skiing and other things. But what we don't have is we don't have an ocean close to us. So we cannot find a surfboard shop or a scuba diving shop in Spokane very easily. In fact, there is no surfboard shop in Spokane. Now the opposite is if we go down to Florida, you will not find a ski resort in Florida. The largest mountain in Florida, ready? Space Mountain. Yeah, that's one of my favorite trick questions, but it is. The largest mountain in Florida, there is no mountain in Florida. So if you look at that, you look at Space Mountain, which there will be no skiing on, and then you go and you think about going over all of the things that they have there for outdoor activities, you will not find a snowboard shop. Now, with that in mind, that is geographics. You are not going to sell skis in Florida. You're not going to sell surfboards in Washington State by Idaho, where I live. The next question, or the next demographic, is psychographics. And psychographics stands for lifestyle. Lifestyle is the way that you live what you like to do. An example, if someone loves to cook, then they have a cooking lifestyle. If they like to go to sporting events, that's another one. If they like cigars, that's another one. Lifestyle, psychographics, those two go together. What do they like to do? And the last one is demographics. And there are so many different aspects to demographics. There are 7. So let's start off with the easiest one. Demographics, start off with, is age. How old you are. Some things that I like to do, because I'm in my 50s, other people in their teens don't like to do. If you look at volleyball, for example, I coach volleyball. But if you look at the people who are playing volleyball, there's not a lot of people 50 and older playing volleyball compared to high school. The next one is gender, sex. There are some things that are sold to men that are not sold to women and vice versa. There is not a lot of chance for me to go and buy feminine hygiene products. I don't need them, and they're not trying to sell to me. The next one is ethnicity. So sometimes people sell to people by their ethnic background. Another one is income, how much money people make. And then we go to religion, marital status, and occupation. So those are the 7. Let's go over them again. Age, gender, ethnicity, income, religion, marital status, and occupation. You look and find out what matches up with your product that you are selling, and then you find people that fits that. That's your target market. Geographics, demographics, and psychographics make up your target market.